Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Matt and it is terrible, terrible, terrible Tuesday. I am so happy to see each and every one of your faces. I hope you're happy to see my ugly face. It is yet another day of reviews for you. We're almost upon Halloween. Yes, alright guys. The only thing that I hate about Halloween being here is that we're going to have to say goodbye to Halloween here shortly, unfortunately. The whole month of October is always great for all of us horror fans, and November is also a fantastic one. And I want to say thank you to everybody who's been taking your time to watch my videos. I've jumped up some subscribers, which is nice. I thank you for all the love. Today's movie, though, I'm gonna get on to it. It's a great one. It's from 1970, and it's starring Ray Sager, Judy, Cler, Wayne Ratay, Phil Laurenson, and Jim Rao. And it is directed by none other than the Godfather of Gore himself, or the Grandfather of Gore, whichever you want to call it. Wizard of Gore. La la la. This is the something weird release of it. It says it's a special edition. I love the catch lines on here. The maniac magician whose monstrous tricks actually work. It's hard reading that backwards, I'm not gonna lie. Scenes that far beyond anything you've ever seen that description is possible. Yeah, whatever. I can't read backwards. It's not for me. This is the director of 2000 Maniacs, Blood Feast, the Gore Girls, the Gruesome Twosome, Something Weird, so on and so on and so on and so on. The guy has directed some awesome stuff. Color Me Blood Red. The Blood trilogy is awesome. This isn't part of it. This is much after it. As far as what we got here, it is. Let me flip it over and show you the special features. Not a lot of special features for this one. Usually when they're single titles, you don't get a ton of features on Something Weird, even though they usually pack their stuff to the gills. And this is a DVD, actually. Something Weird is bad about doing DVDs. They do DVD-Rs, so they cut the costs everywhere they can. They're very, very cheap. They're not expensive stuff. Most of them you can get for under $15. I think I paid $10 for this. I think I've gotten almost all of his horror films. There's just a few of them I need. I need like the Uh-Oh Show and Blood Feast Part 2. There's probably one or two others in there. I don't have many of his nudie cutie films. I'm not really big on those. I think they're just okay, they're not my thing. I got some nudie cuties on the Something Weird label, which I do have a soft spot for. They've released some great stuff. I believe it was a dual ownership between Herschell Gordon Lewis and Friedman. Oh shoot, I can't remember his first name. Friedman is his last name. They were long partners, even in the films, when they worked on films together, clear up to the beginning of their careers. I think it's David Freeman. But I believe it's in ownership with them. I don't know if anybody else is a part of that. It's good stuff, though. As far as what it's about, Montag the Magnificent is a magician whose gags are very, very surreal. They're like Grand Guignol, like they're straight off of the horror screen. They're crazy. Like there's one where he has a sword swallowing gag, and he ends up running the girl through in her mouth and jamming and stabbing her. There's a punch press in there, which anything that you read on the movie, it tells you right away what's going to happen. Unfortunately, even what I wrote is directly from the back of the cover box, and it gives away a lot of stuff already. It doesn't give away the main bits of the story. It doesn't give away the ending, the nice little ending it has on it. It doesn't give away that, at least. It just gives away a couple of the kills, unfortunately. 4 of them, 5 of them to be precise, and there's not. It's not like this movie has a ginormous body count anyway, so that's basically almost all the kills they've just basically given away to you, which that drives me nuts when they do stuff like that. Now back to to what's going on. So he basically hypnotizes these women in the crowds of his magician shows, and everybody in the crowd is almost mesmerized and hypnotized in the same sense. And these women willingly come up, are part of the gag. They quickly become part of the Wizard of Gore's bit. I mean, like anything, like I said, from the sword swallowing to the punch press. There's a hot box scene. What else is, or burning tank, excuse me. I called it a hot box. There's a great chainsaw scene with an old school chainsaw that is an electric saw. I don't know if those are strong enough to cut through bone. They probably are if you hack at it long enough. I'm not sure. A gas one is definitely stronger. It has more RPMs to it, or amps, or horsepower, or whatever the hell, I don't know. Now, in the middle of all this, there's this weird little, like, detective story going on with it. Much like every movie of Herschell Gordon, horror movies of Herschell Gordon Lewis, they have a weird detective side to them. The director's always, the detective. The detective is always some suave, lady catching guy that just, no matter what he does, the girls love him. The main gals are usually all Playboy pinup girls. Back in the day, Herschell Gordon Lewis and David Friedman were very, very good at getting them to come in and do films. Some of them did do nudity, and most of them did not. They got down to the bare minimum, and sometimes you got down to pasties, which, pasties or whatever, in my opinion. I don't. That it's just one step below a bra, it's not really anything spectacular, you can cover up your nips with your hands and stuff like that all day long, and it's not gonna, it's whatever. Now when there's no pasties, that's when I'm like thumbs up, and because this is the era of when most of the models in the film were all buxom blondes and run on that 34, 24, 36, whatever waistline and measurements. They're the ones that they're hourglass shaped. My kind of gals, curves. Now, I don't want to go too far into this because the synopsis gives away enough as is. I'm not going to lie, this one is kind of boring in places. Much like most of his films, there are boring places. You get yourself going, and you have probably 10-15 minutes of nothing in between. Though this one is not the worst about it. The worst, I feel, is Color Me Blood Red. That one is just horribly slow. So is The Gruesome Twosome. I like them, but I'm not in love with them like I am with, like, 2000 Maniacs or Blood Feast or Wizard of Gore. I do really, really enjoy this one. The guy that plays Montag the Magnificent, Ray Sager, he is really, really good. He steals the show. He just crushes it. It is B acting at its finest. It is not any kind of Oscar-winning material. It is not gonna blow your mind on gore gags. For the time, it was extremely gory. 1970, you didn't have these kind of gags going on in mainstream films. These were drive-ins and little seedy movie theater type places that played this kind of stuff. Now it's like, since I've got on how it's a little boring in places, I'm going to go ahead and drift into my technical aspect, or to the technical side of rating on this one. It is full of mistakes. There are a lot of continuity errors. There is magical scenes where you know that the actors are just reading their lines off of something in front of them, or it's on their hand or whatnot, and they're reading it. And then there's the ever popular newspaper thing that every Herschell Gordon Lewis movie seems to have. They'll have a newspaper headline, and it's clearly something that they've either A, printed up themselves and it looks very, very poorly done, or B, they've taken stuff and glued it over the original stuff to make it look like it's a newspaper of their own, and then, like mass killer or girls die in horrible accidents, things of that nature, stupid stuff like that. So let's give that one a 2. It's pretty bad on that side of the technical side. It's not the best. Not that Herschell Gordon Lewis was any kind of technical master at filming at all. He was a poor man's director who did things his way, and he was successful. I'll give him that. I own a bunch of his films, so. And I suggest them to I don't suggest them to anybody though, because they are slow paced. Every one of his movies is slow paced. There's no fast pace to any of them. There are lulls in every one of his films, and continuity errors and things of that nature. There's mistakes left and right, but that doesn't take anything away from the entertainment side. Now, on the entertainment side, in between from all the boring parts, I'm going to say this is probably a 3. It's middle of the road on that one. There's like I said, nothing that's going to blow your mind, but for the times, it blew a lot of people's minds, and I think it's great to go back and visit some of these old gore films, or these old horror films. Which, by the way, I will be doing some old ones here in the future. Some old ones. I'm thinking of doing some Universal Monster stuff here in the future. All right, guys. Love your faces as always. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Please check out The Wizard of Gore. It is worth your watch. Like I said, this thing is dirt cheap from Something Weird Video. I get it off Amazon for, I think like less than $12, I think. I can't remember. Been a while since I've looked this one up. Their stuff usually stays in print, so you don't have to worry about them going out of print. I think that's why they go to DVD-Rs, because so they can keep things in print for so long. Alright, guys, I have mumbled on enough. I'm up over 13 and a half minutes here. I'm going to get the hell out of here. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. I got an awesome one lined up for you. It's one of my very first Arrow releases I ever got. It is a DVD Arrow. So it's an older release for them. They don't release DVDs anymore. Not that, or a lot of those companies don't do anymore. Scream Factory doesn't. Vinegar Syndrome, blah, 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 blah. Alright, guys. Peace as always.